You're about to watch some clips that I'm sending to the IPCC, and although I'm sure that within the IPCC there are some good individuals who aren't kind of corrupt, unfortunately nothing will come of it, because in order for the police to be so obvious about what they've been doing to me, the gang stalking, they're confident, somebody's got their back higher up. I think the go-ahead has been given at some point, somewhere up the ranks, that to start gang stalking certain people they see as undesirables or whatever. I also went to my MP, Jim Fitzpatrick, who very kindly, his office referred me to a mental health unit. What's also interesting is that I was referred again anonymously to the same unit, so that's 3 months later. So within a period of 6 months I was referred to a mental health unit twice, which is really interesting when you understand that one of the processes, one of the parts of gang stalking that they really try to bring about is marginalisation, so that you're marginalised. So if you're saying something they don't want you to say, then obviously if you've been referred to a mental health unit, then people aren't going to take you seriously. They're going to call you cracked. I also attempted a private prosecution when I saw that the IPT weren't doing anything, the MP wasn't doing anything, and the police were just saying it wasn't them. And it was. I mean, look at the footage. The private prosecution, I went to initially through Bromley Court. The judge just threw it out. He wasn't interested. I then went to get a judicial review. I went to the Royal Courts of Justice and asked for more judges to look at why the judge didn't, in my private prosecution, the judge didn't look at any evidence, didn't give any reasons for why he was throwing it out. The judicial review was just again slam dunked, thrown out, nobody's interested. What's also interesting for me is that every time I went to put the paperwork in at the Royal Courts of Justice, the helicopter followed me and flew over the Royal Courts of Justice. You may or may not believe that, I don't care, but for me it was them saying, we own the system. Police cars will often pull up behind me, turn their sirens on. I've had 2 plainclothes, what I believe to be firearms officers at Canary Wharf, threaten me, and I can give a detailed description of one of those officers who has a very distinct marking about him. Also, I've had people, in dark glasses, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, putting their fingers in their kind of jerseys, their tops, their jumpers, and pointing, pretending to point guns at me. It's just been constant, and it's gone on for nearly 2 years. I will take a polygraph test. I would love to take a polygraph test. I am not lying. The final point I'll make is, how do they always know where I am? This is one of the things that you hear from people who have been gang stalked. How do they always know where I am? I mean, I've got my suspicions, but maybe that's a bridge too far for most people to hear. But is there some type of surveillance going on where whenever I leave my house, an alert is going out to the helicopter from some control room, and then an alert is going out to one of the cars? My final point is the day that this seemed to get supercharged was when I uploaded a video saying that I had my suspicions that drones were being used and being camouflaged to look like aircraft, and were carrying out surveillance over London. I didn't say that was happening. I just thought some of the planes were looking pretty strange, and that I had seen. And on that same day, I went out at night, I turned around, and there was one of the little drones that I believe the police use, about 6 inches above my roof going over, seemed to be marking it or something, I don't know. Anyway, this has gone to the IPCC. Nothing will come of this. This is not reverse psychology. It's just that for the police to do what they're doing, they are completely confident. And as I said, perhaps there's somebody who's really good in the IPCC who'll dig and won't just take, the ASU saying, oh, he's crazy, we're not doing anything, and will just look and speak to me, and I'll take a polygraph test and I'll show you the evidence, because if they can do this to me, then they can do it to you, and they can do it to your kids. And this is incredibly short-sighted of the police who are keeping their mouths shut about this, because maybe in the future you're going to have a son or a relative who's going to say something that's dissenting, you know, and they're going to be targeted. I mean, are they going to have to go through this? So I just hope and I pray that there's somebody good in the IPCC. But as I said, in order for the police to do what they're doing, they wouldn't do what they were doing, which is so criminal, I believe, unless they were certain they couldn't be touched. Watch the footage.
So there you go again. As soon as I leave the house, looks like the police EC helicopter right there. So when you take into account the amount of times that it's close to me, I mean, it's quite remarkable. Obviously, because it's so brazen, they'll have some reason or some excuse to say that they're there. So if I was to check it, they'd be covering their tracks on this one, because when they are so brazen like this, then there's been a call to the area. Maybe the call was an hour ago, and they'll just be doing so that they're operational. But when I move, it'll move. So like I said, as I've moved along the street here, those tossers up there are noise.
So, front door. So it's going to go round and round and round and round. Yeah, I've got a police helicopter that's doing circles above my
house. You can probably hear it's my daughter's tree. Here it comes. My front door. Here it comes again. Third time. Close my front door. Here it comes again. Third time. It's doing circles over my house, but of course it'll say here it comes again. That's a fourth time. So here it is, following me. See, it's me, I'm being followed. There we are, see? It's following me. Come, come, come. Come, 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 come. Still following me. I'm nowhere near my house now. Here we come again. Still following me. So here we come again, can you hear it? Don't really want to go out there again, to be honest. There it is. So it's just a coincidence. Just a coincidence, eh? Here it goes again. It just won't leave me alone. Every time I try and leave, it keeps flying over. Right, so this is coincidence, is it? Look, even when I try and go out the other side, I mean, this pilot is insane. Every time I try and leave, I've got to go and pick my daughter up. Okay, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, 3 o'clock in the morning. And here it comes. It does this every morning. Here it is.